Welcome everyone to Jimmy John's Field for this Thursday evening game between the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler with you here, and Dan, the last time these two teams met,
it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. Last weekend we had the same two matchups for two of the games. It was the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers and Westside William-Amherst, and then it was the Hoppers and the Unicorns. They both played each other twice that weekend, so it's been a while since the Beavers and the Hoppers have faced each other, going all the way back to the 15th. And Dan, it ended up being a 5-3 victory over the Beavers for the Diamond Hoppers.
Yeah.
And Torrey DeShazer and Brian Bayless Jr. were also the starting pitchers on the mound that game.
Yeah, Torrey DeShazer wasn't on the mound for that long. He only went 3 innings. And I can believe that Brian Bayless, he went a little bit longer, went 5 1/3 innings pitch. Now, it was a good game between those two. I mean, it was back and forth. Obviously, they both had to go through their bullpens a lot sooner. But Hoppers ended up with the victory, 5-3. There was outstanding offense from them, from Macon and Kruger. They both hit a 2-run home run in that ball game. And then also you had Nick Wilson with 2 RBIs, and Clark had an RBI in that ball game as well.
Yeah, so offense from a person you wouldn't really expect in that ball game with Mark Kruger having 3 RBIs. Definitely a fantastic game from him. Mencken, on the other hand, has been a powerhouse at the plate all season long, and him taking that home run was not too much of the surprise of any of his teammates.
Not at all.
And we're looking for another great game here. It's 81 degrees, a little bit on the warm side, but definitely, I mean, as the evening goes on, it'll cool off. And it's mostly cloudy, so yeah, it's a beautiful day for baseball.
The sun.
Yeah, the forecast for the game going on is perfectly good, so we shouldn't have any weather scares like we did last weekend, at least today.
Yeah, I woke up this morning watching Fox 2 and watching the weather report, and I was like, oh, we're not going to maybe have a game tonight, but yeah, it worked good. The weather's looking beautiful. So
there is a trade that happened as well, Dan. Brandon Raw from the Unicorns was sent over to the Beavers in favor of Tyler McVicker. Tyler McVicker sent back to the Unicorns. So
I feel this is a great addition to this Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers lineup. Of course, you have the top hitters, DeAndre Clark, and also you have Nick Wilson. But Brandon Raw is a great addition to this ball team, especially defensively as well.
Yeah, Brandon Raw is a phenomenal player.
Yes.
In the field and at the plate. So I feel, and Tyler McVicker going back to the Unicorns, it's definitely a win-win trade if you look at it statistically speaking. And seeing as this is his first game with the Beavers, I'm going to go ahead and pick Brendan Raw as my potential player of the game.
I see you. I'm going to go with Chris Power from the Hoppers.
And, Chris Power, I mean, that's always he's always a good pick to go with. At least you're not copping out this time.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just messing
I
with
did
you.
before, but now I had to switch it. So.
And Steve, our writer, is going to go with the starting pitcher, Brian Bayless.
Okay.
Bayless, who last time up went 5 1/3 with 5 hits and 1 earned run. So a strong pick from him as well.
Yeah, his ERA is 4.15, whip 121.
So let's hope that this matchup will turn into a good one here as DeShazer looks to get back to form. He's in a starting pitching role now. He was in the relief pitching role when the season started. Last time out, like you mentioned, Dan, he went only 3 innings run. 3 innings
pitched.
3 innings pitched with 3 earned run. And I was trying to combine innings pitched and earned runs there. Did not work too well.
Yeah.
We had good relief pitching that game also from Ben Allison, Michael Gomez, and Jordan Pennell. Each one of them went at least an inning and gave up no earned runs. So the bullpen for the the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers the Eastside Diamond Hoppers is still strong. And
yeah, when the Hoppers get on base as well, you got to watch out for them because they like to steal a lot.
Yeah, that's for sure. The Eastside Diamond Hoppers are constantly a threat at on the base pads, especially when you guys have guys like Ricky Castro on your team who can do it all. And it's just going to be a really good game. I expect this to be a close one too.
Hey, it's Zombie Night at the ballpark as well.
It is Zombie Night, Chick-fil-A night, Thirsty Thursday night. There was one other too. We have like 4 promotions going on tonight. But the Zombie Night was the one that we were advertising most because, I mean, that's the one that everyone was most excited for. You just look around the ballpark here and you see a ton of people with their faces painted.
They tried getting our faces painted, but you know what? We had to hide.
Sitting up here in the press box, it wouldn't.
No.
I'll just be honest. I didn't want to get my face painted. But a lot of people did, and the people who did the face painting did a phenomenal job with the makeup. So anyways, we're going to go down to the field for the starting lineups for the Diamond Hoppers and the Beavers, and when we come back, we'll go we'll have the first pitch, so please stay tuned.
Starting lineup for today's game are sponsored by AAA of Michigan. Leading off and batting first from the Dominican Republic, the shortstop, number 7, Ricky Castro. Batting second from Lumberton, North Carolina, the left fielder, number 22, Chris Power. Batting third from Elmhurst, Illinois, the right fielder, number 12, John Mencken. Batting fourth from Brooklyn, New York, the first baseman, number 21, Esteban Gomez. Batting fifth from Draper, Utah, the designated hitter, number 8, Mark Kruger. Batting sixth from Toll House, California, the third baseman, number 5, Casey Chenoweth. Batting seventh from Nutley, New Jersey, the center fielder, number 24, John Kraft. Batting eighth from Tallahassee, Florida, the catcher, number 4, Kyle Figueroa. And batting ninth from Chicago, Illinois, the second baseman, number 20, Jeremy Scott. The starting pitcher for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers this evening from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, number 14, Torrey DeShazier. Okay, are there any Beaver fans in the house tonight? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring on your home team for today's game, the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers, managed by Chris Newell. Joining the Beavers tonight on the field are today's baseball buddies, the Oakland Patriots from the 12 and under division. Leading off and batting first from Hayward, California, in right field, number 26, Don Andre Clark with Jack Legree. Batting second from Charlotte, North Carolina, the center fielder, number 20, Brandon Raw. Batting third from Decatur, Georgia, the first baseman, number 6, Nick Wilson with Chevy Alvarado. Batting fourth from Pearland, Texas, tonight's designated hitter, number 3, Nick Buckner with Michael Jackwig. Batting fifth from Montpelier, Virginia, the shortstop, number 1, DJ Martinez with Caleb Cardona. Batting sixth from Phoenix, Arizona, the left fielder, number 11, Gerard Hernandez with Ricky Green. Batting seventh from Woodstock, Maryland, the catcher, number 17, Robert Lucido with Austin Limburger. Batting eighth from Deming, New Mexico, the third baseman, number 10, Dan Cannon with Aiden McCracken. Batting ninth from New Hyde Park, New York, the second baseman, number 13, Thomas Rulis with Logan Legree. And the starting pitcher for the Beavers tonight from Clawson, Michigan, number 24, Brian Bayless with Josh Poe. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of God Bless America, performed by Kelsey Keenan.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains
veterans and active military may keep your hats on while rendering the hand salute. As we honor America and our military with the singing of our national anthem, performed this evening by the Avondale Boys Choir.
Welcome back, everyone. Brian Fisher and Dan Dilber with you here. We're just a few minutes away now from first pitch in this Thursday evening game between the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers and Eastside Diamond Hoppers. And Dan, how about you go through the starting lineup for the Diamond Hoppers one more time for those who are just tuning in?
I would love to, Brian. Leading off and playing short, Ricky Castro. Batting second, and then left you have Chris Power. Batting third, and then right you have John Macon. Batting fourth, and at first you have Esteban Gomez. Batting fifth, and at DH this evening is Mark Kruger. Batting sixth, and at third you have Casey Chenoweth. Batting seventh, and in center you have John Kraft. Batting eighth, doing the catching behind the plate, Kyle Figueroa. And batting ninth, and at second you have Jeremy Scott. Defensively for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers, out in left you have Gerard Hernandez. In center you have the new addition Brandon Raw. In right, you have DeAndre Clark. At third, you have Dan Kennan. At short, you have DJ Martinez. At second, you have Thomas Rulis. At first, you have Nick Wilson. Doing the catching behind the plate is Robert Lucido. And on the mound for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers this evening, you have Brian Bayless Jr.
And Dan, like you mentioned before the game, Brian Bayless coming into the game today is got 7 games pitched with 34.2 innings in those, with 4.15 ERA and a whip of 1.21. So while the ERA could stand to be a little bit lower, his whip is doing pretty good. He lets on less than 2 runners an inning, and he strikes out a lot of guys as well. If he could get his hits down, however, that's really what's been killing him. Yes. So he doesn't walk a whole lot of guys, but he will give up a lot of hits. So if he can really cut down on the amount of base hits, he'd do a fantastic job.
Yeah, you know, last time out, he only went 5 1/3 innings, like we were talking about. He had like 5 strikeouts, only gave up 1 walk, and gave up 5 hits. And most of those runs were just earned. So, I mean, hopefully for a better outing this evening for the Birmingham Beavers.
Yeah, he just gives up one too many over the plate, and he gets hurt for it every single time. But he's got a lot of good stuff. It's just if he can cut down on the amount of hits he gives up, his ERA would be a lot lower. His whip is already, like I mentioned, fairly low. So let's hope that he can really turn things around out there. So we're just still a few moments away. Ricky Castro is going to step in as we speak.
And he has that hitting streak going for USPBL.
You are right, Dan. If he gets on base with a base hit today, he will break the USPBL record, currently held by Nick Wilson for consecutive games in a row with a base hit. He's at 13 right now. He needs today to get the 14th First pitch to him is going to be a strike, 0-1. It comes at 7:06 p.m. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Castro. He's going to foul that one off. 0-2 quickly on him now.
Yeah, so far this season, Castro's hitting .351, has 26 hits and 4 RBIs.
Brian Bayless does not waste any time, Dan.
No, he does not.
Throwing the velocity out there. He's already throwing 91, 92 miles an hour, which is about where he peaks. As that one's a ball outside, 1-2. Castro, like you said, Dan, coming in today batting .351, insanely high. He's going to ground that one over to the shortstop Martinez. Martinez will throw it on to Wilson, and that'll be 1 out for Brian Bayless. So now Chris Power, your pick for player of the game, Dan, will step in. Power's out there playing left field today.
He seems like we see him all the time in left. He can switch around as well in the outfield as well.
Yeah, they tend to cycle him around wherever they need him out there in the outfield. And first pitch to him is going to be a strike on the inside corner, 0-1.
Yeah, Power's hitting .247, has 19 hits, 3 homers, and 11 RBIs.
So while his batting average is sub .250, he's got some pop in his bat with those 3 home runs and 11 RBIs. Tends to hit and come up big when his team needs him to.
Definitely matches his last name.
That is for sure. Last time he faced the Beavers, as he grounds that one over to Martinez. Martinez throw to Wilson is not going to be in time. It's going to be an infield single for Chris Power. As I was saying, he went 1 for 5 last time out, striking out 3 times.
So he definitely needs a good game this evening.
He needed that base hit to get off on the right foot.
You know, you sometimes see runners, jog down to first base, but you never want to give up on the play, especially you know that you could be potentially thrown out.
Well, he really chopped that one over to Martinez. Martinez had to run onto the infield grass to get it, so he had a pretty good chance at that one. I mean, obviously he had a really good chance because he ended up being safe. But, Chris Power is one of those guys, especially in the 2 slides. That one's shot to left center field, fairly deep. Going back is Praw to the track. It makes the catch on the warning track, so Power will retreat back to first. That'll be 2 outs now, as that one almost got out of here. And John Mankin is probably one of, if not the power hitter in the lineup for the Hoppers. He hits a lot of those balls to the warning track, and last time he did homer against the Beavers back 2 weeks ago.
And that was a 2-run shot.
So him and the long ball are pretty familiar with each other, as he hits that one on the warning track for the 2nd out. So Gomez will step in. Gomez is going to ground that one over to Martinez. Martinez being very active this inning, and he's going to get the force out at second. And that's going to be it for the Hoppers in the top of the first. So we will come back at the bottom of the 1st inning, and leading off for the Beavers will be DeAndre Clark, Brandon Raw, and Nick Wilson. Torrey DeShazer on the mound for the Hoppers. So we'll be back shortly with more Nothing ball game. Please stay tuned. All right, welcome back, everyone. Brian Fisher and Dan Delbier with you here as we come to the bottom half of the 1st inning. And, Dan, you're going to go through the starting lineup for the Beavers, please.
Yeah, I would love to. Leading off, and in right, you have DeAndre Clark. Batting second, and in center, you have Brandon Raw. Batting third, and at first, you have Nick Wilson. Batting fourth, at DH this evening, is Nicholas Buckner. Batting fifth, and at short, you have DJ Martinez. Batting 6th. And then left, you have Gerard Hernandez. Batting 7th and doing the catching behind the plate, you have Robert Lucido. Batting 8th, and at 3rd, you have Dan Kennan. And batting 9th, and at 2nd, you have Thomas Rulis. Defensively for the Hoppers, you have out in left, Chris Power. In center, you have John Kraft. In right, you have John Macon. At 3rd, you have Casey Chenoweth. At short, you have Ricky Castro. At 2nd, you have Jeremy Scott. At 1st, you have Esteban Gomez. Doing the catching behind the plate is Kyle Figueroa. And on the mound this evening for the Hoppers, you have Torrey DeShazier.
And the first pitch of Clark is going to be in there for a ball, 1-0. Clark is a absolute monster at the plate with just a .363 batting average. No home runs yet, but he is just gets on bat after bat after bat. As it's 2-0 on him now. The second pitch from DeShazier misses. And DeShazier is a name that we both often struggle with. Something about the Shea and then the Zer following each other. As that one's popped way high in the air. And it's going to be caught by Chenoweth, the third baseman, in foul territory. So it's going to be one quick out for DeShazier.
You know, I would love to see him go a little bit longer this evening because the last time we seen DeShazier on the mound, he only went 3 innings. So hopefully a lot longer this evening.
Yeah, the 3 1/3?
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely, his team, the Hoppers, are going to also want to see a lot more innings. He's going to want to go longer in the ball games if he really wants to put his team in a good position to win. And that's what they're going to be looking for out of him. As Brendan Ross steps in, the first pitch to him is going to be a ball low and away, 1-0.
And a new addition to the Beavers lineup.
Yeah, he came over from the Unicorns this week. Tyler McVicker sent back to the Unicorns, as that one's going to be grounded over to the shortstop Castro. Castro makes a quick throw down to first, and is going to get him. So Brendan Ross' first at-bat with the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers goes unsuccessful as he grounds out.
And here comes the power hitter, Nick Wilson.
Nick Wilson, a constant threat at the plate. He's got all the power. Without a doubt, you could say he's the power hitter on the team. The pitchers try to pitch inside to him, but a lot of times they're unsuccessful as he ends up launching the baseballs clear the fence at center field, the deepest part of the ballpark, with ease.
Yeah, he has 4 home runs this season already. And I believe he's leading the league right now.
As the first pitch to him is going to be a ball on the inside of the plate, 1-0.
Sitting 277, has 13 hits and 14 RBIs.
Many of those RBIs came because of the long ball. The 1-0 pitch is a ball low, 2-0. DeShazier is not hitting his mark very often here in the first inning. He's been missing a lot, but he's still been producing these outs. But you can't rely on... You have to throw strikes eventually if you want to get outs. So that's another ball low and inside, 3-0.
Hitters are definitely going to catch on, and they're not going to go fishing.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they're just going to stop swinging. So he's going to have to find the strike zone quickly here if he's going to want to be an effective pitcher today. Here comes the 3-0. There's a strike and right down the middle, 3-1, 91-mile-an-hour fastball. The 3-1 pitch. He's going to check a swing on that one. It's going to be a ball outside, so Nick Wilson will get on board due to a walk. So now with 2 outs and 1 man on, Nick Buckner is going to step in.
Buckner hitting .270, has 20 hits, a homer, and 6 RBIs.
It's a little strange that with 20 hits, he only has 6 RBIs to show for, but the Beavers have struggled for the most part against teams like the Unicorns and the Hoppers. The Unicorns and the Hoppers obviously being the top half of the league. And the Beavers have had trouble getting on base besides Clark as he flies that one fairly deep into left field. Power will stop just short of the warning track to make the catch. And that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. So after 1 inning of play, it's still a 0-0 tie. The only hit so far has gone to Chris Power of the Hoppers. We come back to the top of the 2nd. Leading off for the Hoppers will be Mark Kruger, Casey Chenoweth, and John Kraft, the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the lineup. So we'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned.
night.
Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the second inning, where Mark Kruger is set to lead it off for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers.
And Brian, he had a great outing the last time these two teams faced. He went 2 for 3 and also had a 2-run homer in that ball game.
That being his only home run in the season so far. The first pitch from Bayless is a strike, 0-1 against Kruger.
Yeah, he's only hitting .231, has 9 hits and 9 RBIs, and of course, like you said, a homer.
But, yeah, 3 of those RBIs, so a third of his RBIs on that season came against the Beavers the last time they faced off, as that was a ball outside, 1-1. So he plays well against the Beavers, I guess you could say in short.
Yeah, and you know what? He was at the DH position as well, like he is this evening.
As that is a ball outside as well, 2-1. That one was in the dirt.
Just a beautiful evening here at Jimmy John's Field.
2-1 pitch, misses just a hair outside, 3-1. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous here. 81 degrees. A slight breeze going from left to right and partly cloudy. As that one's in for a strike, so the count will run full now at 3-2.
It's also Chick-fil-A night, our favorite night, right?
Yeah. 3-2 pitch is going to miss, and that's going to be a walk for Mark Kruger. You never want to start off an inning walking the leadoff man.
Because he's dangerous on the base pads.
Well,
maybe. You never know.
You just don't want to walk the leadoff man in general because those, especially when with no outs, those guys tend to come around to score most of the time. Because you give the batters following that a lot to work with. One guy might come up and just try to move him over. A base hit could move him to third, and then a sac fly could move him, and then you still only have 2 outs. As a throw down to first, and Kruger gets back in safely. Chenoweth so far this season batting .269 with one home run and 8 RBIs.
He also has 18 hits.
That is a ball low, 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. He's going to ground that one over to the third baseman, Kennan, but it's going to go foul. So it'll be 1-1 now.
Great crowd on hand as well.
The 1-1 pitch is going to be grounded foul again down that third base line. So 1-2 on Casey Chenoweth in his first at-bat of the ball game. It went 0 for 4 last time these two teams met. Brian Bayless tends to have his number. Comes the 1-2. He's going to hit that one for a base hit down into the right field.
He heard you, Brian.
Yeah, he heard me talking. And this will be a runner at first and second with no outs now. John Kraft will step in now with runners at first and second and no outs here in the top of the second inning. Eastside Diamond Hoppers looking to get on the board first here in this ball game.
John Kraft hitting .250, has 7 hits and an RBI.
John Kraft got that RBI in the game on Sunday against the Unicorns. That was during the rain, right before the rain delay started, giving his team the lead again.
Rain, rain, go away.
As he drives that one into right field, that's going to drop for a base hit, and that's going to score another run, or score a run, as Mark Kruger will come in safely, and it's going to be a 1-0 lead for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, and that's the second RBI in the season for John Kraft. So maybe that first RBI started something for him.
Yeah, definitely did.
So Kyle Figueroa will step in. There's still no outs here in the top of the second inning with runners at first and second, and now a 1-0 lead for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Figueroa showing bunt. He's going to bunt that one fair. It's going to allow both runners to advance, but he will be out. He does his job, however.
That's a great job by him moving those runners over, especially in scoring position.
Wasn't the best bunt ever, but it got the job done. Advanced both the runner at first and second, so now both runners are in scoring position, like you mentioned, Dan. So Jeremy Scott will step in, batting .250 on the season, looking to add at least one RBI. With one out and runners at second and third, he's got a favorable position. First pitch to him is a ball low and away, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch inside for a ball, 2-0. That'll be a strike right down the middle, 2-1 on Jeremy Scott now.
He's definitely looked to increase his RBIs as well.
An RBI single from John Kraft was just his second on the year. He's got 2 in 2 games in a row now. That's a ball inside, 3-1, or I should rephrase that, 1 in 2 games in a row, because he's only got 2 RBIs. Jeremy Scott, like you mentioned, Dan, could use a few more. He's got 7.
This is a perfect chance for him.
Especially with runners at second and third. He's got a batter's count here, 3-1. Comes the pitch. He's going to swing and miss at that one.
That was a big swing there.
Yeah, he was fooled by the off-speed pitch, 81 mile an hour. So it's a 3-2 count now. Swung over top of that one as it dropped out of the zone. Comes the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss there, and Jeremy Scott's going to go down on strikes.
That was another big cut swing from him.
Yeah, huge cut there. He was really hoping to drive that one. But unfortunately, he strikes out swinging, so Ricky Castro will step in.
And he just needs one more hit to break the USPBL hitting streak.
Be a great situation to get that one hit in with runners at second and third and 2 outs. It's going to be a ball low, 1-0 now. You can guarantee Bayless is going to be careful around pitching around Castro. Castro with that .351 batting average. As a leadoff hitter, he doesn't get many opportunities to hit for RBIs either. He's only got 4 on the season. It's going to be a ball outside, 2-0.
Lucido talking to Bayless there, how they want to pitch to Castro.
Pitch. He's going to ground that one fair ball down the right field line, and that's going to score 2 runs and make it 3-0 for the Diamond Hoppers with 2 outs. Castro's going to try and advance a second. He's going to do safely as that ball's going to end up in the outfield. So a 2 RBI base hit for Ricky Castro will break the record for consecutive games reaching on a base hit at 14.
And he's going to get an ovation from the fans as well. He did a great job there, bringing those 2 runs in, perfect spot.
So it's now a 3-0 lead here in the early goings, the top of the second inning. A RBI single from John Kraft and a 2 RBI single from Ricky Castro, and they just keep the line moving here. There's been 3 hits this inning. Really helping to take the stress off Torrey DeShazer when he will come back out. So that pitch is flied into foul territory down the right field line as Clark will make the catch. And that'll be it. But The Eastside Diamond Hoppers strike first, score 3 runs, and go to the bottom of the second, touting a 3-0 lead. When we come back to the bottom of the second, DJ Martinez will lead it off. Following him will be Gerard Hernandez and Robert Lucido. So please stay tuned for more. Welcome back, everyone, in this game between the Beavers and the Hoppers. It's a 3-0 lead for the Hoppers after Castro and Kraft cashed in and scored 3 for their team. Leading off now in the bottom half of the second will be DJ Martinez.
And Brian, you know how you said how we have Brandon Raw moving from the Beavers?
Yep.
And then we have McVicker going to the Unicorns? Well, earlier today, there was a signing. Kevin Matthews has signed with the Atlanta Braves organization.
And that's not really a surprise to anyone,
No,
I feel.
not at all. And he's definitely going to be missed here at USPBL.
That one's grounded over to the third baseman, Chenoweth. Chenoweth throwing down to Gomez, and that'll be 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the second inning.
He was a strikeout machine.
Oh yeah, the guy threw in the 90s, and he struck out like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
And he
made quick work every single time he went out there.
Well, yeah, he always had very few hits. His main issue was walks, and the last 2 outings, he's really gotten the walks under control as he was working in bullpen sessions to get his control improved, and it really showed. And his ERA was sub-1.
Yeah, I mean, an outstanding pitcher, and wish the best of luck for him as he now gets a chance, at the bigger league level.
Yeah, well-deserved, too. Meanwhile, Gerard Hernandez will step in. It is 1-0 against him now. Comes the 1-0 pitch. And it'll be a ball outside, 2-0. And, yeah, Dan, he will report to High A ball, the Rome Braves, obviously the High A affiliate of the Atlanta Braves. So let's all wish him good luck and hope that he can make it to the big leagues, as that one's going to be grounded over to the second baseman, Scott. Scott will handle it. And it'll be 2 outs here in the bottom half of the second. First pitch to Lucido is going to be hit into the netting. Made a fan jump. She had a heart attack there. 0-1 against Lucido now.
Kind of remind me of the first couple weeks here.
Yeah, when you used to do it.
Yeah.
And we're all the way back here behind windows.
Okay, Brian.
Here comes the 0-1 pitch. He's going to check a swing on that one. It'll be... Ump says he didn't go around, so 1-1 on him. Yeah, and the manager of the Beavers, Newell, said that he will be sorely missed because of the fact that he was not only was he a dominant pitcher on the mound, but in the locker room he was such a leader and such a great personality that's just going to leave a hole, and let's hope they can fill it, as that's a strike, 1-2. But he'll be missed, but he's moving on to bigger and better things. And we all, like I said, we all wish him luck and hope that he can achieve greatness and make it to the MLB.
Yeah.
The 1-2 pitch is going to be grounded over to Scott. Scott handles it, and that will be a 1-2-3 second for Torrey DeShazer and the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. So when we come back to the top of the third inning, it's going to be John Mankin to lead it off. He had a ball into the warning track his first time up. Following him be Esteban Gomez and Mark Kruger. So we'll be back shortly. It is a 3-0 lead for the Hoppers over top of the Beavers. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler with you here to the top half of the third inning. 3-0 lead for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers after Kraft had an RBI single and Ricky Castro had a 2 RBI single in the second. John Mankin set to lead it off. Like I said before the break, he hit that in his first at-bat, he hit that ball to the warning track in left center. He's got a lot of power in that bat.
Yes, he does.
As that one's a strike, 0-1.
He already has 3 already this season.
One of those home runs came the last time they played the Beavers. So that's a pitch just barely missing outside, 1-1.
Yeah, he definitely had a great night.
Comes the 1-1 pitch. He's going to sky that one in the air. It's going to stay playable for Nick Wilson in foul territory. He makes the catch, and that's going to be one down here in the top half of the third inning. So now Esteban Gomez will step back in, reaching in his first at-bat on a fielder's choice. It's going to be a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, Gomez hitting 270, has 20 hits, 2 homers, and 18 RBIs.
Hitting in the 3 spot in the lineup, you have a lot of responsibility to drive in those runs, and he does a good job of it. Like you mentioned just a second ago, Dan, with 18 RBIs and 20 hits. In those 20 hits, he does a good job of cleaning up, as that's a ground ball. Rulis throw down to Wilson from second base, and that's going to be 2 up, 2 down. So it's a lot of responsibility for Gomez following Mankin. Gomez hitting that cleanup spot, but he does a fantastic job of it. So now Mark Kruger is going to step in, the DH. He walked his first time up.
Depending on what happens here with Kruger, Bayless is doing a great job after the rough other inning.
As he drives that one deep down the right field line, but that's going to hook foul, and that's going to land on the hill over there in right field. And Kruger crushed that one, but a hook just fouled on the right field line.
Definitely wishes he could have straightened that one out.
Well, I'm sure he does. He was just a little bit early on that one, but he got all of it. So 0-1. It's going to be a ball low and inside. 1-1 now on Kruger. One pitch is going to be just a tad outside. 2-1.
Kruger, again, was one of those guys that hit the 2-run home run when they faced each other last time.
He had 3 RBIs in total in that ball game. The 2-1 pitch is going to be low and away again. 3-1 now on Kruger. Kruger looks one bad pitch away from being walked for the second time this ball game. He's going to drive that one to center field. Raw's going to get underneath it. And it's going to be a quick 1-2-3 inning for Brian Bayless.
Makes up from last inning.
Yeah, it's a good bounce back inning from him. And as we go to the bottom of the third inning, Dan, it's still 3-0 in favor of the Hoppers. Leading off for the Beavers in the bottom half of the third inning would be Dan Kennan, Tom Rulis, and then Denandre Clark. So we'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler with you here on this Thursday evening game between the Beavers and the Hoppers. It's currently a 3-0 lead for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. And the Diamond Hoppers got out to an early lead in that second inning, the top of that inning, with the John Kraft RBI single. That was only his second RBI of the year. He got his first back on Sunday when they faced off with the Unicorns just before the rain delay began and gave his Hoppers the lead again. And Ricky Castro had a 2 RBI single a few minutes later to make the lead 3-0. So now Dan Kennan will come in to lead off the bottom of the third. He's looking to get something going for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers. They only have 1 hit on the game so far.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, they don't have any hits, and the only guy who reaches a walk. Go ahead, Dan. Sorry about that.
DeShazier is definitely happy coming on the mound after, his team offense getting some runs for him.
As that's a strike 0-1. The big complaint in the first inning was that he just wasn't hitting the strike zone, but he seemed to improve on that in the second inning, throwing a lot more strikes. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be a pitch low and away, 1-1 now. And yeah, like I said, Dan, he had a quick 1-2-3 inning in the second, and he's doing good here through 2.
Definitely doing a lot better than his last time against the Beavers.
So it'll be a ball high, 2-1 now.
And like you're saying, you just got to work on his location of pitches. Because, hitters are going to catch on. They're not going to go fishing for anyone in the dirt or anything else.
As that one's going to be driven into left field for a base hit. Hit that one into the gap. As Dan Kennan's going to try for 2. He's going to slide in as the throw is off, and he's going to have a double. So good base running by Dan Kennan. He saw that Kraft was kind of just jogging over to the ball in the gap and decided to try for 2.
And as you're a fielder, you want to get that ball back in quick.
I don't think he believed that Dan Kennan would try to stretch it for 2, as he didn't hit it deep into the gap. But Dan Kennan rounding first, made that split-second decision and ended up working out for him. as Thomas Rulis will step in with a runner in scoring position and no outs here in the bottom of the third inning. It's going to show bunt, pull it back in time, but it'll be called a strike nonetheless, 0-1. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Be a ball low, 1-1 on Rulis.
Rulis is hitting .261, has 18 hits and 6 RBIs.
One pitch is going to be driven deep to right field. Going back is Mencken, and that's going to be over the wall. A 2-run home run from Thomas Rulis will be his first on the season and make this a 3-2 ball game.
The way that ball came off that bat, you knew it had the distance.
Yeah, just off the bat, you knew that one was going to be gone because it made that loud crack. And Mencken, who turned around to chase it down, really just did a light jog. And the 2-run home run from Thomas Rulis will make this a 3-2 ball game as they only trail by 1 now. So now DeAndre Clark will step in. First pitch to him is a ball high, 1-0. Clark, his last time up, popped out to the third baseman, Casey Chenoweth. 1-0 pitch is going to be hit on a line, dropping for a base hit in right field.
And that's a base hit for DeAndre Clark. And as a result, everybody in section 104 report to 1-800-GUEST.
So the Beavers have something going here after 3 consecutive hits, a double, a home run, and now a single.
DeAndre Clark is doing everything right now. I mean, it's crazy how every single game we see him, he gets on due to hits.
Yeah, he's just a base hit machine. He's hits it for contact most of the time, as he has no home runs on the season. Very few RBIs, but that's as a consequence of him being in a leadoff spot. But he does a phenomenal job just reaching base and giving his team something to work with, as he just did a moment ago. He's a threat on the base paths as well, as he will steal, as that one's grounded over to the shortstop, Castro. Castro will get the force at second, and then a turn down to first base. That'll be a double play, 6-4-3. And just like that, there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. So Nick Wilson will step in with nobody on and 2 outs. Nick Wilson has the tendency to tie ball games with just 1 swing of the bat. So they're going to want to be careful here.
Yeah, last time he walked. So let's see what he can do.
Although a double play is a great momentum killer.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
As they were Beavers were doing a great job of just getting on base, and that double play those just tend to kill, as that's a strike on the inside edge, 0-1. A 1 pitch will be a ball low, 1-1.
I'm telling you, when Nick Wilson hits it out, it's definitely a moonshot.
Yeah, any home run hit from him will be long gone. He doesn't hit home runs that just barely make it over. Anything, we've seen him hit it behind the hill in right field. We've seen him hit it into the trees out in the outfield. It's phenomenal, the amount of power he has in that bat.
Didn't he hit 2 deep center, right?
Yeah, the first at-bat we saw of him when he rejoined the league was deep center, straight away. And it was, I didn't believe, everyone kept saying how much power Nick Wilson had. And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I understand, but I didn't expect him
that much
in his
power.
first at-bat to drive it deep straightaway center. So 2-1 pitch will be a strike, 2-2 now. Two pitch is going to be hit right up the middle. DeShazer just barely getting out of the way of that one. It's going to be a base hit for Nick Wilson.
DeShazer probably saw the light flash before his eyes there.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. DeShazer with the quick reaction to dodge out of the way of that one, as that one was hit right back at him. So now Nick Buckner will step in with a man on and 2 outs here. It's a 3-2 ball game in the bottom of the third. after the 2-run home run from Thomas Rulis cut the lead down.
Buckner flew out to the left fielder Chris Power last time up. He's hitting 270, has 20 hits, and a homer and 6 RBIs.
It's going to be a ball low and inside, 1-0 on him. One-0 pitch will be a ball, 2-0. Swing and a miss there from Buckner will make the count fall to 2-1.
That was a big cut from him there.
Yeah, that was a monster cut from him.
He definitely had to step out of batter's box after that swing.
The 2-1 pitch is going to be a ball away for, so 3-1 now. Buckner's going to call for time. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Be a ball away, and that's going to walk Nick Buckner. And we have runners at first and second with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. So DJ Martinez will step in with runners at first and second. He grounded out to Channel with his last time up down there at third base.
That happened to be DeShazier's second walk of the game. I got mixed up between walks and hits.
And the Beavers just keep on rolling here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, finding every way to get on base, whether it be a hit or a walk. They've cut down on the deficit from 3-0 to make it 3-2 after the Tom Rulis home run. It's 1-0 now on DJ Martinez. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That'll be a strike in there. 1-1.
Shazier just needs to focus on the batter here, less on the runners. Get out of this inning.
The 1-1 pitch. It's going to be driven a base hit into left field, and they're going to try and score Wilson. Oh, and Power's going to bobble it out there twice in left field, and that'll score 1 run. And then the throw in is going to be bad, and that's going to allow Buckner to get to third safely. But they're going to get DJ Martinez at first. He tried to be greedy and couldn't get back into first in time. But they do score 1 more run and make a 3-3 ball game, scoring 3 in total this inning. And we go to the top half of the 4th inning, where leading off for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers will be Casey Chenoweth, John Kraft, and Kyle Figueroa. So we'll see if the Hoppers can retaliate. Please stay tuned for more. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the fourth inning, where Casey Chenoweth set to lead it off for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Here for a base hit his last time up. It is now a 3-3 ball game. So the first pitch to Chenoweth is going to be a strike, 0-1. The Hoppers, if you're just tuning in, the Hoppers got out to an early lead in the second inning, scoring 3 runs thanks to an RBI base hit from Kraft and a 2 RBI base hit from Castro. But then in the last half inning, the Beavers tied it up, as that one's going to be grounded softly to the second baseman, Rulis. Third on to first is going to get Casey Chenoweth. So it'll be 1 up, 1 down here in the top half of the fourth. Like I was saying, the Beavers tied it up in the top half of the, or bottom half of the third inning, thanks to a 2-run home run from Thomas Rulis and then a RBI base hit from DJ Martinez. So John Kraft will step in now. Got his second RBI of the season back in the second. First pitch to him is a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, and on that hit from DJ Martinez, it was hit to Chris Power, and he was just bowing the baseball out there. Couldn't get in time, and overthrow it as well.
That's a strike, 1-1. Yeah, it was definitely a weird play. That run, Nick Wilson was probably going to score from second anyways, so there was no error on the play, but he bobbled it twice, as that one's going to be grounded over to the second baseman, Rulis again, and just like last time, grounded out to the second baseman. So 2 up, 2 down now, and Kyle Figueroa being. Yeah, like you said, he bobbled it in left field twice, threw it into third, and overthrew it, and then the catcher
threw it to first.
Yeah, Figueroa threw it to first and got Martinez, who was trying to get back into first. So Martinez, who had the RBI single, ended up being out anyways. But what matters most is that he tied the ball game for the Beavers. So that one's going to be grounded softly over to the shortstop Martinez. And
quick inning there.
Martinez will throw it down to first. And Dan, it's a 1-2-3 inning. And it's still a 3-3 ball game after 3.5 innings. When we come back, it's going to be the Beavers' turn to bat yet again. Leading off will be the number 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Gerard Hernandez, Robert Lucido, and Dan Kennan. So we'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the fourth inning, where due up for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers will be Gerard Hernandez. It's currently a 3-3 tie after the Beavers tied it in the bottom half of the third. Thomas Rulis hitting his first home run of the season, scoring 2.
Just getting over that right field wall.
Yeah, just barely, but hey, a home run is a home run any way you slice it.
I'll take it.
And that sparked well, actually, Dan Kennan with the double, I would say, sparked the inning, as they were just really doing a great job getting on base, as it's 2-0 now on Gerard Hernandez. But the 8, 9, 1, 3, 4, and 5 hitters all got on base last inning. The 2-0 pitch is going to be a ball or a strike on the outside edge, 2-1. Kennan, Rulis, Clark, Wilson, Martinez all had base hits. So Buckner had a walk. So the only batters to not get on base were those who either didn't show up that inning or who hit out. And Brandon Raw is the only one who grounded out in that inning. So 2-2 now. Unfortunately, hit into a double play. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on Gerard Hernandez. He's going to foul tip that one, so he'll stay alive.
The lights begin to come on here at the ballpark.
Yes, yeah, they do.
It takes a lot of time to get them on.
Yeah, I think it's a little. I think they've come on a little early today, but they're probably on an automatic timer, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Comes the 2-2 pitch. That's going to be a ball away. 3-2 now. Count's going to run full.
And it's zombie night here at the ballpark.
Yeah.
Any favorite zombie movies? I think we talked about it the
we
last time.
did, but I mean, why not talk about it again? I don't mind.
Do you watch The Walking Dead?
I don't watch The Walking Dead.
You know, I watched the first 2 seasons, and that was about it.
3-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and Gerard Hernandez goes down on strikes. And that'll be 1 up, 1 down now, and Robert Lucido will step in. He grounded out to Jeremy Scott his last time up. And I don't really have a favorite zombie movie.
But what about video games?
I guess, what was that comedy zombie film? The Something Land. The first pitch to Lucido is a strike, 0-1.
I'm going to look that up for
Zombieland. Oh, my
Zombieland.
gosh. What am I saying?
Why did I even
We're
pull up my
talking-
phone?
And that is that's my favorite zombie film by far.
Okay.
As that one's gonna be flied foul, gonna land on the right field patio.
I know me and you both love playing a lot of video games. What about video games?
My favorite video game zombie is zombie video game
Yeah.
is Last of Us by far,
Okay.
and I'm pumped for The Last of Us 2.
I like Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead's great. It's a classic arcadey one. Right now I've been playing a lot of Killing Floor.
Okay.
And the 0-2 pitch is gonna be hit for a base hit in the 5.5 hole out in the left field. So 1 on and 1 out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Killing Floor is just a good old-fashioned zombie game. It's just the survival. It's a lot like Call of Duty Zombies, where you know just waves and waves of zombies. It's good for killing time.
Definitely. Never played that, but gonna maybe hit since you have it, come by sometime.
Well, it is free on PlayStation 4 until
Okay.
the end of the month.
Well, I don't have a PlayStation 4.
Well, that's your own loss. As that's going to be a throw down to first, but Robert Lucido's going to get back in safely.
I just had to go with the Xbox.
I'm sorry you have terrible taste.
I know. I wish I had a PlayStation just to play the MLB The Show.
That is by far my favorite sports video game. That's going to be a ball outside. They're going to throw it on a first, and he will slide back in safely. And Robert Lucido, not expecting that throw down, but slides back in anyways. Troy DeShazer was cruising through the first 2 innings, then hit a rough patch in the 3rd where he just got hit up by the Beavers. And it went from a 3-0 lead for him and the Hoppers. Now it's tied 3-3. Thomas Rulis with that 2-run home run, and DJ Martinez, the RBI single, tied it. And now they have another runner on base as Figueroa will go out and talk to DeShazer, try and settle him down maybe.
Yeah, the Cedars definitely want to be careful after seeing DeShazer throw down the first. And him getting back just in time.
They're going to throw down a first again, and Lucido slides in safely yet again.
Getting down dirty.
Yeah, his uniform starting the game was white with that pitch out. 2-0 pitch is going to be skied to right field, fairly deep. Mencken on the run is going to make the catch, and that'll be 2 outs as Lucido will retreat back to first base.
Now batting the second baseman, number 13, Thomas Rulis.
So now Thomas Rulis, the man who hit the 2-run home run last inning, will step in.
That was the right field. Barely getting over that fence there.
Yeah, Mencken was on the run, and then when he realized that ball was going to get over the fence, he
just slowed down.
He slowed down quite a bit. So
all you can do is just watch it go over. With
2 outs and a runner at first base, Rulis will look to keep the inning alive. Comes the first pitch to him. He's going to ground that one over the second baseman, Scott, who will make the short throw to Castro at second to get the force out, and that's going to be it in the 4th inning for the Beavers. We've played 4, and we go to the top of the 5th with a 3-3 tie. Leading off for the Hoppers will be Jeremy Scott. Following him will be Ricky Castro and Chris Powers. So we'll be back shortly with more, and please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 5th inning. Leading off for the Hoppers will be Jeremy Scott, the second baseman. Jeremy Scott's been getting worked out quite a bit here.
He struck out his first time up.
So far, the only strikeout for Brian Bayless. He looks at a strike for the first pitch of the at-bat, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is going to be in there for a strike, 0-2 now. Jeremy Scott quickly behind in the count. It's going to be a ball, 1-2. One-two count will fall even now at 2 apiece. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Jeremy Scott goes down again on strikes.
Went to one knee there.
As he chased that one out of the strike zone. So 2 strikeouts now for Jeremy Scott, both swinging. Ricky Castro will step in. Earlier today, he broke the USPBL record for consecutive games with a base hit. First pitch to him is a ball, 1-0. That base hit also drove in two runs, so he had a 2 RBI base hit, and it gave them a 3-0 lead at the time. Of course, now the game is tied 3-3. The 1-0 pitch. He's going to drive that one. Ground ball fair into the outfield for a base hit. That one hit the outfield grass and
Yeah, it took a weird
yeah,
bounce there.
It was rolling, and then when it hit the edge of the infield, hit the outfield grass, hopped way in the air. So that'll be 2 base hits for Ricky Castro today. And so Chris Power will step in with 1 on, 1 out. At the top of the 5th inning, looking to get something going for the Hoppers.
And he was my pick for player of the game. Who was yours again?
My pick was Brandon Raw, who
All right.
has grounded out both times today, once into a double play. So not looking good for my pick. 1-0 on Chris Power. Throw down a first will not be in time as Castro gets back in safely.
And let me tell you, Brandon Raw is a great addition to this Beavers lineup.
He is overall a very solid player. As Castro breaks for second, and on a hit and run it looked like, but it's going to be hit foul from Chris Power, so 1-1.
Especially defensively. He
Raw
makes a couple of great plays out there.
Raw so far today, he's grounded out twice and once into a double play. So, well, it may not look like it so far, but just believe us when we say he is a solid player.
Yeah.
John Macon will step in now. He is 0 for 2 today. In his first at-bat, he drilled the ball into center field onto the warning track. Really had us thinking that ball was going to be gone until Raw finally made the catch.
Interesting fact, his idol was Ken Griffey Jr. growing up.
Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr., I feel like he was a lot of people's idol growing up.
Definitely
And
one of my favorite players.
he's also on the cover of the new MLB The Show as a pitch out. So 1-0 on John Macon.
You're just making me jealous, aren't you?
I didn't get the newest one.
Oh, you didn't get the newest one yet?
I didn't feel the need to get. That's the problem with sports games. Every year the new installation
New one comes
is
out.
the same.
Yeah, and then you just have to update the rosters. That's all you have to do.
So the 1-0 pitch is going to be swung on and missed. 1-1 now on Macon. So I'm still playing MLB the 14 with Miguel Cabrera on the cover. And it's funny, I'm getting my 4th year of being a player, and the Tigers have won like 3 World Series.
Wow.
It's because the team they have in that game is crazy, and it's ridiculous that we didn't win a World Series in that time frame. But that's another story for another game. As it's 2-1 now on John Macon.
Tigers won this afternoon against the Kansas City Royals. Fulmer was outstanding on the mound.
Up until the 9th.
Yeah.
Where he gave up 3 earned runs, but still a quality start.
One of those, it should have been 2, but I'm not going to bash on Jay Upton.
As that's going to be a ground ball just fouled on the 3rd base line. So it's going to fall in 2-2 now on John Macon. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. It's a 3-3 ball game, and there is a man at first base.
Yeah, 3 homers for the Tigers this afternoon. You had Kinsler hit 1, you had Jay Up, and then you had Romine.
Romine with, I think, 3 now? 3 or 4?
I mean,
that's a lot for him.
Exactly.
As Kester's going to go and try and steal second. And Macon's going to strike out, though. So we are going to be done with the top half of the 5th, and we're halfway through the ball game. It's still a 3-3 tie as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Beavers will come up. Leading off will be Denandre Clark. Following him will be Brandon Raw and Nick Wilson. So we'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Brian Fisher and Dan Delber with you here on this beautiful Thursday evening game.
You almost said afternoon.
I almost said afternoon between the Hoppers and the Beavers. And in case you're just tuning in, I'll go through the scoring plays so far. The Hoppers got out to an early 3-0 lead thanks to an RBI single from John Kraft and a 2 RBI single from Ricky Castro in the 2nd inning. John Kraft hitting just his second RBI so far this season, and Ricky Castro with that two RBI single, broke the record for consecutive games in a row with base hits, now at 16. Previous record was held by Nick Wilson, on the team that they're playing against. And it was a 3-0 lead for the Diamond Hoppers until the bottom of the third inning, where Tom Rulis hit a 2-run home run over to right field, just barely getting over the wall. And then later in that inning, DJ Martinez hit into an RBI single to tie the game, and that's how we got to where we are. It's a tie ball game as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Torrey DeShazer still on the mound for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. So now Denandre Clark will lead it off for the Beavers here in the bottom of the fifth. He is 1 for 2 today, reaching a base hit his last time up. Shows bunt there, but bunts into foul territory. 0-1 on him.
Denandre Clark, the hitting machine.
Yeah, he hits for contact very well, as we mentioned, Dan. He's hitting 363 so far in the season. He's got no home runs to show for it, however, so he doesn't hit for a whole lot of power, but he gets on base with those base hits constantly, as that's going to be a pitch outside, 1-1. He was leading the league in average for a while there, and then Brett Balkin surpassed him. Brett Balkin just hitting a hair under 400 now, as that's going to be a base hit up the middle, and Clark gets on again.
Can we just put on our score sheet every single time he gets up, hit, hit, hit?
You don't? So now Brendan Raw will step in. He's grounded out 2 times today. This is his first game with the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers after being traded to them from the Unicorns. Tyler McVicker went back to the Unicorns. DeShazer will have to keep a careful eye on Clark down there at first as they throw down. Clark gets back in safely, though. Another throw down to first base, and Clark gets back in safely again. DeShazer not taking any chances with Clark on the base paths, as he is a threat basically anywhere. A throw way high, and Figueroa is able to corral it. So it's going to be 1-0 on Brandon Raw.
Raw definitely had to duck out away there.
Yeah, and Figueroa had to leap for it. It's going to be a meeting at the mound between DeShazer and Figueroa, as Paul Nochi will come out to the mound as well. Whole infield will come in, actually. Some action in the bullpen. See Michael Gomez stretching. Who's throwing out there?
It looks like the right-hander Jordan Pennell.
We've seen Pennell a lot this season. He's done a great job. This is probably just to... This meeting at the mound is probably just to extend the warm-up time for the bullpen arms. Ideally, I'm sure they'd like to see DeShazer get out of this inning, because that'd give the whole extra half inning for Pennell to warm up out there.
DeShazer's definitely got to keep a close eye on Clark over there at first.
That one's driven deep to center field. Going on the run is Kraft, and that is going to be a 2-run home run for Brandon Raw. His first with the Beavers, his first hit as well. And what a great way to start off this season with the Beavers. No other better way to do it than a home run. And so now it is a 5-3 lead for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers here in the bottom half of the 5th inning.
Beautiful swing there by Raw.
As he drilled that one to left center field. So now Nick Wilson will step in. Wilson is 1 for 1 today as a walk and a base hit. And now he's got a 5-3 lead to work with here. He'll try to keep this ball rolling. Comes the first pitch to Wilson in the at-bat. It's going to be a strike 0-1. Brendan Raw absolutely crushing that. Makes up for that double play in the third inning hit into. Oh, 1 pitch going to be hit foul. 1-1 or 0-2 now.
But now still over there in the Diamond Hoppers bullpen, still warming up.
Swing and a miss there from Wilson. He goes down on strikes. It's going to be the second strikeout of the ball game for Torrey DeShazer. Now, so Nick Buckner will step in. He's 0 for 1. He walked his last time up. So 2 home runs today have done most of the damage for the Beavers. Rulis with the first one, and then Brendan Raw in his debut with the Beavers. Hits one straight away. Swing and a miss there from Buckner. It was actually more or less left center. Wasn't necessarily straight away. If I'm going to get technical here,
Yeah.
as I should.
Definitely a great debut.
It's 0-1 pitch. It's going to be a strike 0-2. Yeah, it landed.
For a different team.
Yeah, it landed just underneath the scoreboard in left center. Should be a ball outside, 1-2. Comes the 1-2 pitch. It's going to ground that one fouled on the first base line.
If DeShazer is able to get out of this inning, I have a feeling Pennell will come in after.
I have a feeling too, Dan. I think it's
Getting up those
all but
two-run home
certain
runs, yep.
that Pennell will come in. At least a relief pitcher will come in. If it's not Pennell, I'm sure it'll be Michael Gomez, depending on who he decided to go with.
Still looks like Pennell warming up.
Going to check his swing there. The ball's going to get away from Figueroa. Appealed on the first. Say it didn't go, so it'll be 2-2 now.
Figueroa limping a little bit there.
Might have tweaked something, trying to keep that ball from getting away from him. Seems all right, though. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and that's going to be driven to left field. Power on the run. Makes the catch on the warning track. That'll be 2 outs now in the bottom of the 5th inning. Another one hit deep against Torrey DeShazer.
Definitely had a loud sound the baseball coming off that bat.
So now DJ Martinez will step in. He is 1 for 2 today. He had himself an RBI base hit before getting thrown out at first, trying to get back. So nobody on and 2 outs as Paul Noche is going to come out to the mound. This will probably be it for Torrey DeShazer. I see Pennell coming out of the bullpen. So we're going to have a pitching change here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Jordan Pennell will come in and Torrey DeShazer will step out. DeShazer goes 4 2/3 with 8 hits, 5 runs, all 5 earned. Only 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. So while he did go an inning longer than he did last time, Dan, this outing wasn't necessarily any better.
Not at all. And it had to do with his location of pitches, definitely. Because, especially with those 2-run home runs, those location was not where you wanted it.
Yeah, Dan, that was what I mentioned. What I noticed right away in the first inning was a lot of his pitches were missing. He wasn't throwing a whole lot of strikes. And then when he was throwing strikes, he was throwing meatballs right down the middle. And we saw that as Tom Rulis and Brandon Raw hit home runs in today's ball game. So it was a command issue almost the entire game for him. You know, you give up 8 hits and 5 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings. Just you're not really helping your team in that sense.
Not at all, and definitely he's going to have to work on that.
So now Jordan, like we mentioned, Jordan Pennell will come in, and luckily Jordan Pennell is a great man to turn to when it comes to the bullpen.
Yes, he has 18 innings pitched, has 2 wins, 0 losses. He's given up 8 hits, 4 runs, and 15 strikeouts. His ERA's 2.
It's just 2. He's just been fantastic for the Hoppers so far this year, and it's not a surprise that they tend to lean on him in times where situations are tense. Those 18 innings pitched with only the 8 hits against him and 4 runs scored. He's just been absolutely phenomenal. And it helps that with 4 runs and 18 innings pitched, makes it easy to calculate that earned run average.
And Paul Noce loves to go with him, especially this point of the ball game when your starting pitcher is struggling.
Yeah, Paul Noce has no qualms with relying on him out of the bullpen. We've seen him do it time and time again. Him and Michael Gomez are really his powerhouse arms out of that bullpen. Michael Gomez with a sub-2 ERA last time out. I think it's just slightly above 2 now. So now DJ Martinez will step in. That's still a fantastic ERA, though. He's going to check a swing on that one. I'm just going to say he goes 0-1 on him. So Pennell will come in and try to get the final out of this inning. 0-1 pitch will be on the outside edge. A strike, 0-2. Pennell just exudes confidence on the mound.
He does.
He doesn't. There's just like this aura around him when he's out there where he just really seems confident in all his pitches. 0-2 pitches swung on and missed, and it just takes 3 pitches for him to strike out DJ Martinez. And that confidence really came into play there, and his pitch location was just phenomenal on all 3 of those pitches. So we're going to go to the top half of the 6th inning, but it's now a 5-3 lead after Brandon Raw hit a 2-run home run this inning. And when we come back, the Hoppers will lead it off with Esteban Gomez, Mark Kruger following him, and Casey Chenoweth will bat third. So we'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 6th inning, where it's now a 5-3 lead for the Beavers over top of the Hoppers after the 2-run home run from Brandon Raw in the bottom half of the 5th. His first as a Beaver after he got traded from the Unicorns. Esteban Gomez will lead it off for the Hoppers. He is 0 for 2 on today's ball game. He hit into a fielder's choice and grounded out in his 2 at-bats so far. He's going to check a swing on that one, but he'll make contact. 0-1. So foul that one off.
Yeah, Gomez right now is only hitting 270, has 20 hits.
So that one's going to be hit on the line, foul. 0-2 now
Speaking
on
of hits.
Gomez. Yeah.
And he has 2 homers and 18 RBIs. So, and like you said, this evening he's 0 for 2. Hopefully he can get going here.
0-2 pitch will be a ball away. 1-2 now. Brian Bayless back on the mound for his 6th inning of work. He's given up 3 earned runs so far in today's ball game. Sounds going to be fouled off his leg. It's going to remain 1-2.
Yeah, last time he went 5 1/3 innings pitch. Only gave up 3 earned runs. And gave up 5 hits and had 5 strikeouts.
The 1-2 pitch will be way outside. Count will fall even now at 2 apiece.
So definitely gone longer than his last outing.
That one's going to be driven hard to left center field. Raw on the warning track will make the catch.
Raw's been getting a lot of action out there this evening.
Raw making lots of catches out there on the warning track, that's for sure. John Macon hit it out there. Now Gomez has. So Mark Kruger will step in. He had that home run last time these two teams played, but so far is 0 for 1 with a walk. He's going to ground that one down the first base line. Wilson will play it and tag first base himself. Be 2 up, 2 down for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers so far. So now Casey Chenoweth will step in. He's 1 for 2, Dan. He's got a base hit in his first at-bat, but grounded out most recently.
I think that base hit was, the left field, wasn't it?
We've seen a lot of base hits today,
Yeah.
Dan. 13 hits in total between the two teams.
Hard to keep track where they went.
Hard to keep track on each and every location. So the first pitch of Chenoweth is in. This can be a ball inside. Chenoweth has to raise his arms to get out of the way. 1-0 now.
Chenoweth hitting 269. Of course, has 19 hits now. Homer and 8 RBIs.
The 1-0 pitch misses high. 2-0. The 2-0 pitch to Chenoweth. It's going to be low and inside. 3-0 now on Chenoweth.
Definitely a great evening here at the ballpark.
Yeah, it definitely as the temperature continues to drop now. It's got to be into the mid-70s, and it's just really, really gotten to that perfect zone. And that'll be a strike for Chenoweth. He thought for sure that was a ball. He threw his bat away, too. Chenoweth doesn't agree with that one. Comes the 3-1 pitch. He's going to drive that one into the sky, and Rulis will come over to first base to make the catch, calling off Wilson. And it'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Brian Bayless. We've played 5.5 innings here at Jimmy John's Field, and when we come back, the Beavers will be set to take some swings. Leading it off for them will be Gerard Hernandez. Following him will be Robert Lucido and Dan Kennan. So we'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 6th inning. We're leading off for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers will be Gerard Hernandez. He is 0 for 2 so far today, Dan. He struck out swinging his last time up. So he fouls that one off into the stands. 0-1 on him now. Jordan Pennell out for his second inning of work. Well, first full inning.
Yeah, he did a great job coming in.
Oh, yeah.
Filling in for Torrey DeShazier, and he's done that all season long. When Jordan Pennell gets on the mound, I mean, it's amazing what he can do.
As that's a ball outside, 1-1. Yeah, Dan, like I was saying before, he just kind of exudes that confidence on the mound that you need in a pitcher, especially when you're coming in a situation where at the time it was tied. Now the Beavers obviously have a 2-run lead. Or actually, no, he came in after DeShazier gave up the 2-run home run. So he came in right after the Beavers had gotten the lead and came on and 3-pitch strikeout against DJ Martinez. Just did a phenomenal job to settle things down for the Hoppers. As it's 1-2 now on Hernandez. Comes the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss there, and that's 2 consecutive strikeouts for Jordan Pennell in his relief appearance. He's just such an exciting pitcher to watch on the mound.
He is, and he's got that, like you said, that full confidence when he gets out there.
So now Robert Lucido will step in.
And definitely fooled Hernandez there.
Oh, for sure. Hernandez didn't know what he was swinging at. Lucido's 1 for 2 today. He had a base hit back in the 4th inning as he fouls that one off. 0-1 now. Lucido steps back into the batter's box, gets ready for the second pitch of the at-bat. Here comes the 0-1. He's going to reach for that one and just ground it over to Castro. And a throw down to first. It's going to be 2 quick outs here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. So Dan Kennan will step in. He had that double in the 3rd inning that really sparked the offense for the Beavers. They scored 3 in that inning. Right after Dan Kennan doubled, Thomas Rubles hit a 2-run home run, scoring him and Dan Kennan. And then DJ Martinez, that RBI base hit, tied the ballgame at 3 apiece.
And his last time up, he just flew out to the right fielder,
as he
John Macon.
Guys that one foul over top of the Diamond Hoppers dugout. So 0-1. Yeah, and like you said, Dan, he flew out to Macon his last time up over there in right field. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Be a ball just a bit outside, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss there from Dan Kennan. Big rip on that one.
Yeah, definitely had him fooled there.
Yeah, he really fooled him with that off-speed pitch. I think Kennan was expecting a fastball. Had to go down on one knee just to try and make contact and still missed. Comes the 1-2 pitch. He's going to drive that one into right field. Macon on the run will make the catch.
Another quick inning for Pennell.
Yeah, he goes 1-2-3 and starts his relief performance here with 4 consecutive outs. So we will go to the top of the 7th inning. We're due up for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Will be John Kraft. Following him will be Kyle Figueroa and Jeremy Scott. So please stay tuned for more. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 7th inning. It is a 5-3 lead for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers so far. Diamond Hoppers look to try and strike back here. Brian Bayless back on the mound for his 7th inning of work.
Definitely gone longer than his last time.
Oh, that's without a doubt. And the first pitch is going to be low and inside, 1-0 on John Kraft.
And look at his Beavers are in the lead.
He's been cruising through 5 of the 6 innings he's pitched so far. So that's a strike 1-1. He hit a rough patch in the second inning, giving up 3 runs.
Definitely look hesitant. You never know what was going to happen because, the Hoppers had that lead for a little bit, and then his offense got him back in this ball game.
So 2-1 now on Kraft. Yeah, Dan, if you cut out that second inning, he'd only have given up 2 hits in today's ball game. So he's actually been doing really well. Don't let the stat line fool you. He's in line for the win, and he's definitely earned it. 3-1 on John Kraft now. So that ball missed. It's going to be a pitch outside. He's going to walk John Kraft to lead off the inning here. And I said earlier, but I'll say it again, you never want to lead. You never want to walk the leadoff man.
That's Bayless' second walk of the ball game.
And so now Kyle Figueroa will step in. He's 0 for 2 today. First pitch to him is going to be a ball low, 1-0. There's a pitcher up and throwing over there in the Beavers bullpen. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That'll be a strike, 1-1 now on Figueroa. One pitch will be a ball, 2-1. Two-one pitch will be right down the middle for a strike, 2-2, 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
And speaking of warming up in that Beavers bullpen, it's the right-hander Trevor Youngnich. I think how you say it.
As the 2-2 pitch is going to be swung on. It's a hit-and-run situation where John Kraft broke for second. So it'll remain 2-2.
It's spelled Jaunich. How would you say that?
If it's German in origin, you would pronounce the J like a Y, but I'm not sure. It could be
Jaunich.
So 2-2 count on Kyle Figueroa. Two pitch is hit back to the mound. Well, halfway to the mound at least. Bayless with a poor throw down to first. They're going to say Nick Wilson stayed on the bag, and Figueroa is going to disagree with that. And he has given it to the ump down there at first base. Nochi comes down to the home plate umpire. Goes to talk with the first base umpire now.
Very close play there.
And Figueroa thinks that throw from Bayless pulled Wilson off the bag. But the call was called out, so there's not much you can do at that point. Nonetheless, it will advance John Kraft down to second. So there will be a runner in scoring position.
Figueroa still in disagreement there. So is Paul Nochi.
Was it Paul Nochi that got thrown out of the ball game a couple weeks ago?
Yes, it was.
Which is, he's actually, personably, like he's a super personable guy. And he's actually really, really nice.
Yes, he is.
But he has such a passion for the game, and if he thinks you messed up on a call, he'll let you know.
Mm-hmm. And that was a long argument. I remember when he got ejected, it kept going on and on and on until, the fans got involved as well.
Yeah, the fans started actually booing because they just wanted the game to go on. As they kind of give some jeers here, but I think this time it's in favor of Nochi. So now there'll be one out with a man on second for Jeremy Scott. Jeremy Scott has struck out twice today, both swinging. Most recently back in the 5th. First pitch will be a strike to him, 0-1. One out here in the top of the 7th inning with a man at second base, and the Hoppers trailing 5-3. It was a 3-3 ball game until Brandon Raw hit a 2-run home run to left center field off the scoreboard. 0-2 now in Scott as he swings and misses.
Scott definitely wants to be careful here. He doesn't want to go down swinging again.
I would imagine that. You don't want to get a 3 in a row of strikes is great in bowling, but not in baseball.
Sport, yeah.
Comes the 0-2. It's going to be a pitch right down the middle. He's going to strike him out looking. That's his 3rd strikeout of the ball game, and he is not going to be happy as he pounds his bat into the dirt. So Ricky Castro will step in. He's 2 for 3 today. If anyone can score this runner from second, it's going to be Castro.
It definitely will be.
It's going to be a pitching change here as it looks like Brian Bayless's day is done. Or perhaps not.
Looks like
it looks like it's just a meeting on the mound, so correction there.
Give more time for the reliever out in the Beavers bullpen to get warmed up.
Yeah, they're probably also discussing how to go about attacking Castro.
He's definitely a hard person to get out.
Well, he's already got 2 RBIs in the day, and he's got the record now for consecutive games with a base hit for a reason.
Just an exciting player all around.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Comes to the ballpark, smile on his face, and just has fun with the fans. I mean, also great to talk to, no matter what. So
it'll be Ricky Castro who steps in now with a runner at second base and 2 outs here in the top half of the 7th inning. His team trailing 5-3. He's got 2 hits and 2 RBIs in today's ball game. It's going to be a pitch for a strike, 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. He's going to ground that one over to the second baseman, Rulis. Rulis will handle it, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. So the Hoppers threaten but do not score. They leave a man stranded at second base, and we go to the bottom half of the 7th, where the Beavers are going to lead off with Thomas Rulis. Following him will be DeAndre Clark and Brandon Raw. It's 7th inning stretch time here at the Jimmy Johns Field, so please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers And the Eastside Diamond Hoppers duking it out here. It's a 5-3 game where the Beavers currently have the lead thanks to a 2-run home run from Brandon Raw in the 5th inning. And
speaking of home runs, Thomas Rulis.
Yeah, he had one of his own back in the 3rd inning. And that's been the most of the offense for the Beavers today. They have 2 home runs and then an RBI single from DJ Martinez. So 2-0 on him now as Jordan Pennell comes out for his 2nd full inning of work. Pennell does a fantastic job attacking the strike zone as that's a ball. 3-0 now.
It's just exciting to watch him when he comes on the mound.
It is, and he's gotten the first 4 guys out here, but with a 3-0 count, that looks like that might end here. As the 3-0 pitch comes in, be a ball outside, so he walks his first batter of this inning, and that's the first man he's led on so far in his relief appearance. DeAndre Clark will step in now.
The hitting machine, Clark.
Yes, he is batting nearly 400, 363. He's got 2 hits today.
Every single time I look at our score sheets at the end of the night, hit, 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 hit. I'm telling you.
You start
to watch him.
You start to get used to it after a while, just how impressive he is at the plate, at the on defense and on the base pads. It seems like every team's got one of those players, and DeAndre Clark is the Beavers. He's going to bunt that one straight back to the mound. Not a good bunt, as they're going to get the lead runner at second base. So Rulis will be out at second. And DeAndre Clark will reach on to a fielder's choice. So Brandon Raw, who hit the go-ahead 2-run home run in the 5th inning, will step in. He's 1 for 3 today. My pick for player of the game.
Been doing great. You know, what a great debut for him on a new team. Comes in, hits a home run. I mean, right there. It's exciting.
First pitch to him is going to hit the inside edge, 0-1. Yeah, it was looking kind of bad, actually, at the first 2 at-bats. He went 0 for 2, and he hit into a double play as well. But then that 2-run home run he launched really changed the tide for the Beavers, as it's a strike, 0-2 now on Brandon Raw.
It's definitely been very active out there in center as well, defensively.
Oh, yeah, he's had a ton hit to him out there on the warning track, as Brian Bayless had a couple scares there, John Mankett being one of them. The 0-2 pitch to Raw will be fouled towards the Hoppers dugout. Remain 0-2 now. O2 pitcher going to throw down to first base instead. And Clark will get back in safely.
Fast and safely, that is.
Yeah, he didn't even have to slide. He just kind of ran back in and got back in standing up as the 0-2 pitch comes in. And pitch out there, and Clark will retreat back. So 1-2 now. No throw there on that pitch out. Once your pitch is going to be driven fair down the third base line. They're going to get 1 down at second. They're going to throw down at first and get the double play. So Brandon Raw hits into his 2nd double play of the ball game. So we're going to go to the top of the 8th inning, where due up for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers will be Chris Power. Following him will be John Mankin and Esteban Gomez. We'll be back shortly with more. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. Brian Fisher and Dan Dolby are with you here in this game between the Hoppers and the Beavers. Chris Power will step in. Swing and a miss there, 0-1. Brian Bayless's day is done. He goes 7 innings pitched with 5 hits, 3 runs. All 3 of them were earned, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts. So a good outing from him. He could put his team into a good position to win. It's 0-2 now, Chris Power. And we have a new pitcher on the mound. And when I say new, I mean new to the league.
Yeah.
Trevor Jonich. In his USPBL debut for the Beavers out of, what was it?
North Dakota State University. Last time he played for them was back in 2015. He made 17 appearances in relief. He tallied 2 saves with a 5.16 ERA with 23 strikeouts.
So 2-2 now on Chris Power, and Jonich comes here to looking to maybe revitalize his stuff here as this 2-2 pitch comes in. Missed inside. Count will run full at 3-2.
Yeah, he ranked 5th in career saves at North Dakota State University. So let's see what great of a debut he can do here.
That's going to be a strike and a strike 3. And Chris Power thought that was a ball outside, but in his first ever pitching appearance here at USPBL at Jimmy John's Field with the Beavers, Trevor Jonich strikes the first guy he faces out. So not a bad way to start things off with John Macon coming to plate. First pitch is going to be a strike to John Macon. Jonich is going to want to be careful with Macon here. I'm sure everyone has told him how much power Macon packs. 0-1 pitch is going to be inside, 1-1. And Trevor Jonich comes in bearing the number of Alex Maloney, number 7. Maloney signed with the White Sox organization just last week.
So 2 Beavers signed.
It's going to be a number to live up to, that's for sure. As 2-1 now on Macon.
You had Maloney, and then also today you had Kevin Matthews getting signed by Atlanta Braves organization.
That one was the surprise of no one. He checked swing on that one. Hits off his bat, goes foul, so count will full even at 2 apiece.
Because we barely see Maloney. I mean, he had short appearances here in USPBL, but Matthews was just outstanding.
The 2-1 pitch is going to be hit for a base hit in the left field. So Macon reaches with 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. And that looks like it might be it for Trevor Jonich in his first ever USPBL game. So, short appearance for him, but he struck out a man and gave up a base hit.
And coming in for him, it looks like the lefty Kevin Martin.
So now with Kevin Martin on the mound, he'll look to get the final 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. He's got a runner at first after John Macon singled for his first hit of the ball game. Martin, one of the power arms out of the bullpen with a 1.17 ERA.
And of course, it gets a cheer from the crowd because he's from Shelby Township.
Every single time someone from Michigan is announced,
you're gonna get cheers.
It gets cheers from the crowd.
Exactly.
It's like a hometown boy. I don't think they quite realize just how many people from Michigan are on these teams. As the season has progressed, when the season started, Dan, we didn't have a whole lot.
Not
it felt
at all.
like maybe like 4 or 5.
Yeah. Now
but
it just keeps growing.
Every single week we get new players, And every single week, it seems like they're from Michigan. I think Jonich, who just came off the mound, was the first pitcher we've seen in a while who was not from Michigan. He was from Missouri, right?
Yep. Oh, no, Minnesota.
Minnesota. I knew it started with an F. So there's a lot of them in the league, Kevin Martin being one of them. He's got a lot of players from out west, too, it feels like.
Yeah.
A lot of Texases and Californias.
Kind of jealous for those who came from California.
I'm also not really surprised because those are the states that are warm all year
Yeah.
where you can play baseball all year round. Well, depending on where in California you're at, if you're in the southern half at least. So there'll be a quick meeting at the mound between Lucido and Martin as they wait for Esteban Gomez to step in. Esteban Gomez so far in today's ballgame is 0 for 3. Flew out to Brandon Raw's last time out, all the way out into the warning track. Comes the first pitch to him. It's going to be a pitch way outside. 1-0 on Gomez. The 1-0 pitch is going to be outside. 2-0 now. 91-mile-an-hour fastball misses outside. John Mencken with a decent lead over there at first base. It's going to get away from Lucido. A ball in the dirt. 3-0 now. Not far enough away from Lucido where it poses any threat. 3-0 pitch. Going to miss outside. It's going to be a 4-pitch walk for Kevin Martin, or for Esteban Gomez. And Kevin Martin walking the first guy he faces out of the bullpen. Not how you want to start things, especially when you push a runner into scoring position. So the 1 out, there's men at first and second. It's still a 5-3 lead for the Beavers.
And another mound visit here.
Mark Kruger will have to wait a few seconds.
We still has to have some action in the Beavers bullpen. Trying to see who he is. It looks like the right-hander Andrew Nelson.
So now Mark Kruger will step in. Kruger is 0 for 2 today. He has a walk, and most recently grounded out to the first baseman, Nick Wilson.
And again, he had that 2-run shot last time these two teams faced each other.
3
Only being
RBIs
his
in
own
total.
yeah, only being his only homer of the season.
First pitch, Kruger's going to be a strike right in the middle. 92-mile-an-hour fastball, 0-1. Comes the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be a ball low in the dirt, 1-1.
Great job by Lucido there, staying in front of it.
Comes the 1-1 pitch. Be a ball low. 2-1 now on Kruger. Kevin Martin having some trouble finding the strike zone here. He's only thrown 1 strike in 7 pitches so far.
Not good. Not good at all.
2-1 pitch swung on and missed by Kruger.
That was a big cut there.
Yes, it was, as he was looking to maybe score a run there. 2-2 now. So runners at first and second, 1 out. Hoppers trail at 5-3. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Kruger. It's going to be a ball low. Count will run full now at 3-2. Comes the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed by Kruger. Chases a ball high out of the zone. And that'll be a strikeout. First of the ball game for Kevin Martin.
And that's just what Kevin Martin needed there.
Yes, it was. So now it's just 1 out away from leaving runners stranded. Casey Chenna with his 1 for 3 so far, stepping in with a base hit back in the second. But most recently popped out to second baseman Thomas Rulis. That was the one where Rulis ran all the way over to first base and called off Wilson, who really just had to take 2 steps to his right.
Yeah, it was kind of weird there.
Really weird how Rulis called him off, but hey.
Whatever gets the job done.
Yeah, I suppose so. He's going to drive that one high in the air. Lucido's going to go in a foul territory, try and make the catch, and Wilson will make the catch instead. Lucido goes for the slide there, but Wilson robs him of the glory. And Kevin Martin leaves 2 men stranded on base. And it is still a 5-3 lead for the Beavers, as we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. And when we come back, leading off for the Beavers will be Nick Wilson, Nick Buckner, and DJ Martinez, 3, 4, 5 hitters. So please stay tuned for more, and we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Nick Wilson will step in to lead things off for the Beavers.
He was just the one that robbed Lucido of his glory there.
Yeah, Lucido comes into foul territory, tries to make a sliding catch, then Nick Wilson just catches it out of the air instead, and they intentionally walk Nick Wilson there. Or actually,
it looks like it hit him.
It brushed his arm. I couldn't really tell because Wilson didn't really flinch.
Oh.
So I was having trouble there telling if it hit him or intentionally walked him. I mean, I can't blame him for intentionally walking Nick Wilson because he's a power hitter. That's why I was having doubts there. Now Nick Buckner will step in. Buckner is 0 for 2 so far today. Both attempts flying out to power. He has a walk as well. So runner at first base with no outs here in the bottom of the 8th. It's going to be a ball inside, 1-0. Jordan Pennell still out there for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers.
Are you surprised?
Not really. He's been doing a fantastic job. That's going to be a strike 0-1, or 1-1, correction. Like I said, Dan, he's just been doing such a great job attacking the strike zone.
Every single time he goes out there,
yeah, he's not afraid.
Yeah, no.
Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That'll be a strike 1-2.
Just goes out there with confidence and gets the job done.
Unfortunately, comes in with his team trailing.
Yeah.
Torrey DeShazer leaves the game after 4 2/3. Just does not have it today. So that's a ball outside. 2-2. Count will fall even.
Yeah, he was roughed up the last time these two teams faced on the 15th and again this evening.
So here comes the 2-2 pitch. He's going to drive that one up the middle and a base hit. And that'll put runners at first and second with no outs here. And that hit by pitch might come around to hurt him. Like we said, those leadoff freebies always tend to come around to score. And that's what Jordan Pennell is going to try and avoid here. But with no outs and a runner in scoring position, there's a lot that the Beavers could do to bring him home. DJ Martinez has an RBI single on today's ballgame as well.
The Hoppers do have action in their bullpen as the lefty Michael Gomez.
Gomez, like I mentioned earlier, another one of the power arms for the Hoppers out of the bullpen, has an ERA that floats around 2 most of the time as Martinez shows bunt, pulls it back. So it'll be 1-0 on him. Michael Gomez and Jordan Pennell make a powerful 1-2 punch out of that bullpen. They just get outs.
Yes, they do.
They both attack the strike zone with a lot of confidence, and the batters that they face just tend to not be able to hit them as Martinez shows bunt again, pulls it back, so 2-0 now. Martinez trying to bunt to advance the runners, and with 1 out would put Nick Wilson at third base, in which case just a sac fly could bring home Wilson to extend the lead. Shows bunt again, but that one is going to go off his bat, and they're going to get the force at third. They're going to throw it on at first and get him. And not how Martinez wanted that to go. Martinez trying to pull the bat back from the bunt, goes off the end of his bat into fair territory, where Figueroa just throws down to third, gets the lead runner, and then Chenoweth throws down to first to get Martinez. So that ended up being a double play. Just unfortunate how that one played out for Martinez. One of the more unusual
double plays.
Yeah, for sure. So Buckner will advance the scoring position, however, down there at second base. But now there's 2 outs here. And
I think that will be it for Pennell.
And it will as Michael Gomez comes jogging out. You know that's Gomez due to
With the
very long, luscious black hair.
Looks like Magli Ordonez hair.
There's a throwback right there. But Jordan Pennell does absolutely phenomenal in relief today.
Gets it done.
He goes 3 innings pitched. Gives up just 1 hit. So far, no runs scored against him. Michael Gomez will be inheriting 1 runner at second base. He walked 1 guy, struck out 2, and hit 1 batter. So just in 3 innings, 3 relief innings for Jordan Pennell, just fantastic.
Yeah, definitely is coming in when DeSazier was struggling. I mean, he gets it done. And Michael Gomez, who's on the mound as well.
Yeah, he really settled it down for the Hoppers. And he's kept the game at 5-3. He came in with a 5-3 score. And like I said, he only gave up 1 hit and walked 1 batter. So just a fantastic outing for him in relief. And so now Michael Gomez will take over on the mound with a 2.11 ERA and 17 innings pitched. He's been just as phenomenal on the mound in relief. He's going to try and get the final out here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Michael Gomez out of Miami, Florida. One of those other warm states.
Okay, this is going to sound like, doesn't he kind of look a little bit like Shia LaBeouf?
I don't know.
To me, he did. And that in his headshot up there on the video board.
I'm going to have to zoom in here with your binoculars. Get a closer
So,
view.
see, now we're getting creepy.
Sorry. You might be a little right. But I just, every single time he comes in, he kind of reminds me, of course, because of his hair, Maggie Ordonez kind of type hair. But we all have our imagination.
So Gerard Hernandez will step in to face Michael Gomez for his first batter of the ball game. Gerard Hernandez has struck out twice today. He's 0 for 3 in total. Or actually, we have a pinch hitter, it appears, as Gerard Hernandez is out and Robert Poller is in. Robert Poller is a newcomer to USPBL, making his debut with the Beavers in a pinch hit situation here. 0-1 on him now. A 1 pitch will be way outside as Figueroa tumbles over, making the catch. 1-1 now. Robert Poller out of Brooklyn, New York. Whereas number 8 for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers. Comes the 1-1 pitch. It's going to be a pitch just outside, 2-1. It's the bottom of the 8th inning with 2 outs and a runner at second base. It's a 5-3 lead for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers. They took the lead in the 5th inning thanks to a 2-run home run from Brandon Raw. Brandon Raw is also hitting a 2 double play, so a little bit of a mixed bag out of him today. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Be another pitch outside, 3-1 now. Most of the Beavers' runs today have come via the long ball. Thomas Rulis also had a 2-run home run in the 3rd inning, and then the only other run they've scored was thanks to the DJ Martinez RBI single in the 3rd inning. So 4 of their 5 runs have come thanks to the home run. You're going to throw back to second base and just barely not get Nick Buckner down there at second. Scott thought he had him, and he started running back to the dugout, but the umpire called him safe down there.
He's barely getting his foot back there on the bag.
As it looked like Buckner wasn't necessarily expecting that one. Gomez has a great move on the mound out there to throw down to the plates. Keeping an eye back there on second. Here comes a 3-1 pitch. Another pitch outside is going to miss. And it's going to be a walk for Robert Poller in his USPBL debut in his first at-bat. So he'll take it.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Robert Lucido will step in now. He is 1 for 3 so far today. It's going to be a meeting at the mound between the infielders, and Paul Nochi is coming out as well. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change. Michael Gomez just faces the 1 batter. Fails to get him out, however, giving him a walk. So Gomez's final line will be fairly easy to tally up. Michael Gomez goes no innings pitched with no hits, no runs, no earned runs, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. So like I said, very easy, as he only faced the 1 batter.
Looks like Carl Bryce would be taking over for Michael Gomez for the Diamond Hoppers. We've seen Bryce a couple times already this season.
Yeah, Dan, he's done all right so far in the season.
ERA is 169, whip 141. Been 10.5 innings pitch. Has a win. Going to give up 7 hits and 14 strikeouts.
He'll try and get the final out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Something Michael Gomez couldn't succeed in when he faced Robert Poller. Some looked like chess going on out here as they pull Jordan Pennell as Gerard Hernandez was stepping in to put Michael Gomez in, and so the Beavers retaliate by pulling Gerard Hernandez and putting Robert Poller in to pitch hit. So like you said, Carl Bryce will step in with a 1.68 ERA and 10.2 innings pitched. So the Hoppers pulling out all the stops here when it comes to relief pitching today with 3 pitchers that hover around 2 with the ERA, and that is just absolutely, to have that many pitchers in your bullpen with ERAs that low, it really speaks to how good your team is.
It is.
And Hoppers obviously first in the league right now, and they earn it with the type of pitching staff they have. They're fast on the base paths too. They tend to steal a lot. Ricky Castro with the insanely high batting average with 14 games in a row. They're just clicking on all cylinders. They are trailing today, however, but that doesn't take anything away from the phenomenal season they have up to this point, as the first pitch from Bryce to Lucido misses, 1-0.
Yeah, the Hoppers and the Unicorns battling it out in that division.
Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That's going to miss outside as well, 2-0. Runners at first and second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Currently a 5-3 lead for the Beavers as that pitch misses outside, 3-0. In case you're just tuning in, the Hoppers got out to a 3-0 lead back in the 2nd inning thanks to RBI base hits from John Kraft and Ricky Castro. And then the Beavers tied it in the 3rd as that's going to miss or hit inside the strike zone for a strike, my bad. And like I was saying, the Beavers tied it in the 3rd inning thanks to a 2-run home run from Thomas Rulis and a base hit RBI from DJ Martinez, and then took the lead in the 5th thanks to a 2-run home run from Brandon Raw. As that ball misses, that's going to walk Robert Lucido. So now, bases will be loaded for Dan Kennan. Dan Kennan hit a double today. He's 1 for 3.
He flew out twice to the right fielder, Mencken. But big situation here for him.
He could play hero here in the late innings to really extend the lead and blow this one open. As that's going to be a ball low, 1-0. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning and bases loaded, he looks to really just extend this lead and make it just a tough comeback for the Hoppers in the top of the 9th, as that's going to miss or hit the outside edge for a strike, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. He's going to ground that one fair down the 3rd base line. Bobbled it is Casey Chenoweth, and that's going to allow everyone to be safe. So a RBI base hit for Dan Kennan. And that'll be 1 insurance run to make it a 6-3 ball game. And now Thomas Rulis will step in with bases loaded and 2 outs. And another chance to extend the lead. Rulis with that 2-run home run back in the 3rd inning. Other than that is got a hit into a fielder's choice and has walked. So that run that was inherited from Jordan Pennell will come around to score, so that will be a earned run for Jordan Pennell, but still doesn't take away from his phenomenal 3 innings of work.
Yeah, Rulis with that home run back in the 3rd, just barely getting over the right field wall. But perfect situation here. He does have 6 RBIs of the season. Just looks to increase it.
Here comes the first pitch to Rulis. That'll be a strike on the outside edge, 0-1. 0-1 pitch is going to be hit fair on the third base line, and he will tag out at third, Casey Chenoweth. So that'll be it for the Beavers in the 8th inning, but they tag on one more, and it is now a 6-3 ball game as they head to the top of the 9th. It'll be last call for the Hoppers, and when we come back, leading off will be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Hoppers. John Kraft, Kyle Figueroa, and Jeremy Scott. So we'll be back shortly with more, and please stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 9th inning. Last call for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Kevin Martin back on the mound for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers, facing his first full inning of work. They're going to look for him to make a 5-out save.
We have a pinch hitter, Brian.
Yes, we do, Dan, as John Kraft is out.
And Joe Maroney will replace him.
The first pitch to Maroney is going to be a strike 0-1.
Maroney so far this season, batting average 170, has 8 hits and 3 RBIs.
And Maroney's going to call for time there and go through his routine to get back in the batter's box. Didn't like how long Martin was taken out there on the mound. And you know what? This isn't the first time we've seen where John Kraft pinch hits for Joe Maroney.
You mean Joe Maroney, the other way around?
Yes, other way around. Joe Maroney pinch hits for John Kraft, yeah. And that'll be a strike 0-2.
Yeah, we've seen him replace pinch hit for him a couple of times already.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's going to be way high as Lucio has to leap to his feet to make that catch. And it'll be 1-2 now on Maroney.
Yeah, last time the two teams faced back on the 15th, Maroney pinched hit for Kraft. And he had a hit single and hit for a double.
1-2 pitch is high again. Count will fall even at 2 apiece now, as the throw back to the mound is off and trickles into the outfield. Comes the 2-2 pitch from Kyle for Joe Maroney. He swings and misses at that one.
Big cut there.
Yeah, he goes down swinging in his pinch hit appearance, and good way for Kevin Martin to lead off the inning. Nothing better than a strikeout. So now Kyle Figueroa will step in. 0 for 3 today as well. All groundouts.
That happened to be Martin's second strikeout after coming in relief.
And so Kevin Martin looks like
Gonna be it.
His day will be done. He goes 1 full inning pitched. Gives up no hits, no earned runs. Walked just 1 guy and struck out 2, so good appearance and relief for him. So we'll have a new pitcher come to the mound now to get the final 2 outs in this ball game. Try to seal the deal for the Beavers.
And it looks like the right-hander Andrew Nelson. Now replacing Andrew Nelson. He's out of El Paso, Texas.
Like I mentioned earlier, Dan, it seems like we got, as the season has progressed, we've gotten a lot more guys from Michigan. But we also have a lot of guys from out west, a lot of California and Texas. And
actually, I read it wrong.
Going to be Jacob Etzel.
Etzel.
Jacob Etzel will come in, look to get the last 2 outs here. Seal the deal for the Beavers. Try to get the save. Jacob Etzel making his debut here at the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers. And what a way to get his debut, trying to seal the deal and get a save here for the Beavers. As he continues to warm up there on the mound.
Actually, Brian, he's been in the league before. He was with the Unicorns last season. He had 41 innings pitch.
And this was last year?
Yeah, this is last season. He had 41 innings pitched, 4 losses, had 2 saves, and counted for 36 strikeouts, an ERA of 5.83 and WHIP 154.
So this is his return to the USPBL, and he is on the Beavers now. As Kyle Figueroa will step in, be his first batter. Be a strike on the inside edge, 0-1. One pitch will be fouled off into the netting. 0-2 now on Figueroa. Be a quick meeting at the mound between Lucido and Etzel. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Oh, that'll be a strike on the outside edge, and he catches Kyle Figueroa looking. And that'll be a strikeout. And his first batter he faces in his return to the USPBL.
And the Hoppers are down to their final out.
Jeremy Scott, who has struck out 3 times already in today's ball game, twice swinging and once looking, will try and keep this ball game alive.
Looks like he's going to be pitch hit. Ian Mikowski will be pinch hitting for Jeremy Scott. And he is making his USPBL debut.
So lots of debuts and returns here in this ball game, and specifically in this 9th inning.
Publicly wise, because he has 2 at-bats already this season.
In the closed games,
Yep.
And here comes the first pitch to him. That'll be a ball low, 1-0.
And he does also have an RBI.
So Ian Mikowski, Jacob Easel, Trevor Jonich, all players either making their return or their debut today in the USPBL. Definitely been keeping our brains working here, that's for sure. 1-1 now on Mikowski. Comes the 1-1 pitch. That'll be a ball just outside on the outside edge. 2-1. That one was close. Comes the 2-1 pitch. He's going to foul that one. He's going to ground it over to the third baseman, Kennan. And that'll be throw down safely in time to Wilson. And that'll end the ball game. And the Beavers topple the Hoppers, winning it 6-3 on the back of 2 home runs from Brendan Raw and Thomas Rulis. Brian Bayless will get the win in today's ball game, while Torrey DeShazer will get the loss. And the save will go to Jacob Easel in his return.
Yeah, last season he was with the Unicorns, and this season he's now with the Beavers. A lot of changes here in this league.
That is for certain. And Dan, let's get right to it here in our little post-game chat. Who would it ended up being? And just to do a short recap for those, just to give you a little quick reminder, it started off a 3-0 lead for the Hoppers in the second inning when John Kraft hit an RBI single and Ricky Castro hit an RBI double. Ricky Castro on that RBI, or 2 RBI single, correction, on that 2 RBI single, ended up breaking the record for consecutive games in a row with a base hit at 16. So a phenomenal job by him. But then the Beavers just retaliated. It's been all them ever since.
Yes.
The Beavers had a 2-run home run from Thomas Rulis in the third, and DJ Martinez, an RBI single, tied it. And then in the fifth inning, a go-ahead run from Brandon Raw, 2-run home run from him, straight away hit the scoreboard in center field, left center, hitting the Budweiser sign. And then in the bottom of the eighth, an RBI single from Dan Kennan made it 6-3. Starting pitchers tonight were Brian Bayless and Torrey DeShazer. Torrey DeShazer goes 4.2 innings pitched with 4.4 2/3, I should say, with 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Brian Bayless goes 7 innings pitched with 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So while Torrey DeShazer had a less than stellar start, Brian Bayless had a phenomenal start. The 3 earned runs all came in the second inning, and other than that, he only gave up 2 hits in the ball game. So he did a fantastic job starting the day, and we saw some great relief pitching, too, from Jordan Pinnell. Went 3 innings pitched with 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. And lots of debuts today.
Yeah.
Jacob Eatzel making his return. Raw making his debut with the Beavers after he got traded. We saw Robert Pollard in a pinch hit situation. He walked. We saw Ian Mikowski in his first ever public game. He grounded out. And Trevor Jovic went 0.1 innings pitched with 1 hit and 1 strikeout. So lots of debuts and returns today.
Kind of our heads spinning here.
Yeah, it's kept our heads. We've been on edge of our seats all ball game because of that. But a 5-3 lead from or 5-3 victory for the Birmingham-Bloomfield Beavers. And Dan, who would you say was your player of the game?
You know what? I want to go with Thomas Rulis. With that home run that he had an RBI. I'm going to go with him.
So you admit that I chose Strike for player of the game.
Yes, you did. You did, Brian.
Actually, I'm just kidding, Dan. I picked Brandon Raw.
I know.
I was messing with you.
You know, it's been a long game, so I probably forgot about that.
No, Thomas Rulis had that 2-run home run. He went 1 for 3 total, hitting the 2 fielder's choices and a walk. So he's a solid pick. I'm going to go with Steve's pick, Brian Bayless, the 7 innings pitch with 5 hits, 3 runs, and 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He just put his team in a good position to win.
Did. He definitely had a greater outing this time than the last time these two teams faced.
Anytime a pitcher goes that deep, Dan, he just really helps his team out, and that's what he did today. Just really, like I said, put his team in a good situation to pitch, and following up. I mean, they went through 3 relief pitchers, but
yeah. It's just unfortunate, for the Diamond Hoppers. Torrey DeShazer, I think it's because of his location. Some of his location was really off this evening, and that's something he needs to really work on, especially when he made those great pitches. Of course, Rulis took him deep, and who else took him deep? I'm losing track.
Raw.
Here. Raw.
Raw and Rulus took him deep.
So I mean, those
Really made him
they
pay.
were good pitches, but obviously in that zone where you can take them deep.
Yeah, like you said, I have to agree with you there, Dan. Torrey DeShazer had trouble hitting the strike zone today, and like you said, when he did hit the strike zone, they were meatballs that were hit for home
And
runs
great job for Jordan Pennell coming in.
and settling it down.
Yes, and he does that every single time he takes him out. He has that full confidence, and we're going to continue talking about him as he comes in relief for the Diamond Hoppers. But, you know, the Hoppers, how about Ricky Castro? He extends his hitting streak as well.
Yeah, he went 2 for 4 today with 2 base hits and 2 RBIs and extends that hitting streak. And every single time now that he hits in a baseball game is going to extend that record even longer. And I could see him, honestly, I don't know when this record's going to stop because it seems like he's unstoppable at the plate.
Exactly.
So, Dan, what's on the menu for tomorrow? Tomorrow's Friday, 7:05 start.
Yes, it is. And we have what's tomorrow, the 30th? We have the Hoppers against the Unicorns. And we've seen these two teams slug it out.
Time and time again.
But yeah, and it's also Friday night fireworks night, and the fireworks here at Jimmy John's Field are always spectacular.
And we will stream those for you as
well.
well.
Yes, we will. That's what we like to do here. Right? We've been doing it the past 2 weeks, and I figured we'd just keep it going.
The fans like it, so we're going to do it.
And then, you know, tonight was Zombie night, and you had Chick-fil-A night, and then
Thirsty Thursday.
I mean, there's always
Lots of
promotions going on here at the ballpark. So if you haven't been to a ball game yet, I mean, why wouldn't you come out here?
So, yeah, that's going to be it from us tonight here. Brian Fisher and Dan Dilber with you here on this evening's ball game between the Beavers and the Hoppers. It was a 5-3 victory for the Beavers, and we'll be back tomorrow, same time, between the Unicorns and the Hoppers. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you all for tuning in.